Hello dear friends, this is Bob Hatton, this is the Encourager. We are having a look at God's great plan for us, God's big picture that He painted for us in the Bible. And we've come to a point where after He created man and He put him in a wonderful place, that man disobeyed God and God had to send him out of the Garden of Eden. And there is a separation. He placed a big angel in the front of the entrance to the Garden of Eden so man cannot return there. And he went into a harsh world where he had to earn his living by working very hard. And in these harsh conditions, Adam and Eve, they started a family. And first of all, they had two boys. One was called Cain and the other was called Abel. And I guess the way they started to bring up these boys, they told them that they're separated from God. That was probably the main story. We made a mess of things. We're separated from God, but there is a way that you can get back to Him, into some kind of connection with Him. But that's only through the blood of some kind of animal. And I guess they learned this because the younger son, Abel, that's what he did. He kept animals, and he would now and again he would bring a sacrifice. He would kill an animal to appease for his the way of living that wasn't pleasant in God's eyes. Now his brother, he was more of a gardener, more of a farmer. He worked the land, he grew crops and so on, and he was very hard working. We can't flaw him on that. But he brought his hard work and the stuff that he had made, and he brought that and he tried to use that to get back into connection with God. And this is a mistake that man has made all through the centuries, that we think that by doing good things, that we think by working hard, that we can gain favor with God. And that's not actually the point, because we are so far separated from it that no good work can breach the gap. And we will see this is now God's big plan that's coming into position, that we are hopelessly lost and hopelessly separated from our Creator God, who actually loves us dearly. That's why He's got a plan for us, which will now start to unfold. So God accepts the offering that Abel has brought. Is pleasing to Him. Pleasing may be the wrong word, but that's acceptable is probably the better word. It's acceptable in God's eyes. But this stuff of bringing the fruit of the field that Cain has really worked for and really putting in a lot of effort, that's not what gains us recognition or acceptance by God. Do whatever you want and whatever you can, but you won't get recognition by God for that. It's not enough. We can never, ever do enough to be reconciled to God. So God accepts Abel, but He rejects Cain. And Cain is very angry. He's annoyed at first, and then very angry with this. And God says to him, Why are you angry? Why are you downcast? Why are you looking down? If you do right, if you do the right thing, namely if you sacrifice and spill blood, then that will be acceptable. When you do that, then that's okay. Now, a few years ago, there's an American singer called Frank Sinatra, and he had a hit which is still popular today. And what I heard, that in Great Britain, it's the most popular song that is played at a funeral. And this song is called My Way. I did it my way. And this is exactly the motto that Cain has. That's exactly the motto that many people who are living a godless life today have, is I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it the way that I think is best. Abel was another guy, and he's saying, I'm doing it God's way. It's a little bit unpleasant, this spilling of blood, but that's what God wants, so that I've got to do it. I'm doing it God's way. But Cain got so angry about this and him being rejected, in the end he killed his brother. That was the first murder in the history of mankind. I know it's been happening ever since, but he killed his brother. Then Cain, he got married, he started a family, had a dynasty. There's a number of people who are listed in the Bible, and we come to a guy called Lamach. Lamach is a really bad fellow, and he boasts, and he says if anybody does anything wrong, I'll kill him, and if he just scratches me, I will murder him. And now man is not only angry with God, but man is angry with other people who believe something different than they do. He is now angry with people who are not doing it his way, who are not going the way that he thinks is best, for people who are living God's way. And this dynasty kind of what Cain founded, it's called then the sons of man. Now, a little bit later, Adam and Eve had many children, but there's just these three children are mentioned. These three boys. There's Cain and Abel, and then they have another son called Seth. And Seth also starts a dynasty. Seth is more like Abel, and he is following in the ways of the Lord. And one of his descendants is a man called Enoch, and we read about Enoch that he was righteous. He walked with God, and in the end he didn't die because God took him up into heaven to be with him. And then another one in his dynasty, a few generations later, is a man called Noah, who will hear something about Noah tomorrow. And Noah was righteous in all that he did, and he was pleasing in the eyes of God. Now, at this time, these descendants of Seth, they are now called the sons of God. And these descendants, they start to call upon the name of the Lord. They want to worship God. They want to have encounters with God. And there's two groups of people. There are people who are seeking after God, who want to call on the name of the Lord, who want to worship God. And there's this other group who say, no, I do it my way. I'll go my way. And these groups are still with us today, and sometimes there's enmity between them. I don't know which group you're in, but I want to be in the group, the descendants of Seth. I want to seek God. I want to call on his name. I want to worship him. And if you're in the other group who are saying, no, I'll do it my way, I would love to pull you over into this other group. And I hope that during our studies that you will just think about this. Which group do I belong to? And maybe I can go over into the other group. Well, God bless you. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again. You're Bob Hatton, your encourager.